Right. Hi, Egleth. Thank you for being on the show. Could you please start with an introduction of yourself?
Absolutely, Urush. My name is Egleth Nunnci. I'm a member of this community in Fullerton. Well, I have many roles in our city. I am a president of DILAC, our school district. I'm part of the chief advisory board. I'm part of LCAP, and I am the community liaison for the Center for Healthy Neighborhood at the Richman Park. But I think that my most important role is I'm a mom, and for my beautiful daughter Juliana.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, tell me a little bit about the Richmond neighborhood and what the current concerns are.
Well, right now with our center, we see so much need in our community. One of them, you see, we did first a community forum, and through the CBI, which is the initiative for the community empowerment, and our community decide that safety is the main concern for the Richmond neighborhood. And that is a situation that have for many years, is being seen. A lot of people, not have the opportunity to move from our neighborhood because of the rents, the housing, and they cannot afford to live in another place. And then we tell all our neighbors, when this is a situation that's something, is concerning to us, what we have to do is work together for fix this situation, and this is what we're doing.
Okay. And you recently did a community survey. So, can you talk a little bit about that, like how that came about, what the process was, who was involved?
Absolutely, Urush. Our center, we have this initiative, and we have our amazing leaders, which are our core team. And our core team, Urush, is these wonderful moms and dads. They came to us. But before, we just go to city council, and we always, expressing our concern in public comment and meeting people. But we realize, with the support of the Cal State Fullerton, that we need data, because people love data,
Right.
And then we said, okay, we're gonna do a survey. Our 38 leaders, could you see, commit to this endeavor, and 26 of them we walk around the neighborhood, and we got 263 surveys.
Okay.
And that was, a wonderful experience, because some of our members, our core team, they are homeowners, and for them walking in the apartment complex, it was an eye opener
Right.
for all of them, because they see, the poverty, a lot of garage converters, three families living in one bedroom apartment.
Oh my God.
That is situations that people don't imagine, because it's not their reality.
Right.
You see, when you have your home and each of your children can have their own rooms. And it was, that is very powerful. And those are our core team. They are so empowered now to make a difference in our community.
And what were some of the other findings apart from people finding out about each other's living conditions?
Very
Survey?
powerful. 83% of our community and the Richmond neighborhood don't feel safe.
Okay.
And 5% report. Imagine how low is the number of reporting.
Right.
People have a lot of fear of retaliation. We have a big situation with gangs in the neighborhood.
Right.
People and the language barrier is another big one. And think people, don't have that trust
Right.
to call. Of course, the immigration situation, a lot of members of our community, which is the majority Latino community.
Right.
And it makes so hard improve safety in our neighborhoods. That is something that it was heartbreaking for all of us. We see, of course, a big concern, the situation, the crisis of the homeless situation. That is a big one.
Yeah.
And people, but what we do too, when we were talking, walking around our neighborhood, we were explaining our neighbors that the situation, the crisis that we have with homelessness is not just for one organization, it's for all of us to work together.
Right.
Because we need to give dignity to the people that need our help, to give them housing, mental health, and that is why our team is working with the police department, and we went to support the Hope Center. The Hope Center is gonna help, and it's gonna bring case managers, which they're gonna go with the officers to help clearly more. It's gonna be more. I don't know what's the word I can use. Like they're gonna give the right help and resources for all our transients they are here, because we are all at risk and become homeless in one point in our life with the cost of living,
Right.
and this is something that we have to do all together.
Right, because the cost of living is so high where
Oh,
we live.
incredibly high. That is where you see the safety is a big concern because it came together with the crisis in the housing
Right.
crisis. Because one, well, it's all together.
Right, right.
It's like a perfect storm that we're creating. You see, now parents have to not just have one job, have two jobs. Two parents have to go to work. Who take care of the children?
Right.
And you see, that is another. We were working in prevention. We don't want our kids to go and join again because they don't have supervision. That's why we are working very close with the Fullerton School District, with the high school district, because this is for all of us.
Right.
You see, prevention is the way that you can achieve and decrease this crisis.
So a little bit earlier, you mentioned that people, more than 80% of people don't feel safe. Have any incidents happened within the past year or so that kind of signify that?
Oh, absolutely. Our neighborhoods, you see, when we did our survey, which was last year, and it was from at the end of the year, people, it was experiencing so much crime,
Right.
car theft, garage, intrusions, and it was so many things that are happening in our neighborhood. What we're seeing recently is, which is very hard for me to pronounce here in English, the catalytic converter. They are stealing all over,
Right.
breaking the windows of the car. Most of our community, they cannot afford to have a full coverage.
Right.
They have just liability. And you see many of the cars, they just put plastic on the windows because they cannot even afford to replace, the glass on their windows. And that is one situation. We're now even seeing people, they are making holes in their gas tanks because, the price of the gas is so high.
Right.
They are making holes and stealing the gas from the cars.
Oh my God.
I know, and they're sending us, graffiti, all over our neighborhood, and youth, a lot of our young kids, smoking marijuana in parks and other public spaces,
Right.
and that create now our parks. They're not children in our parks anymore.
Right.
They are so afraid to go, they're so fearful to go. And what we do, you see, we are just having our children at home,
Right.
playing video games all day. That is not a healthy life for our children, for our community. And we have to change that.
Right.
And we have to do it now
It's just not a healthy lifestyle for anyone
for
involved.
anyone.
And you mentioned a little bit earlier that you guys are working with the Fulton schools and the police department. So how is that going?
Oh my goodness, we receive so much support. Very grateful to our superintendent, Dr.
Right.
Pletka, and the board. They are always helping us, with the center. They're going to help us for our upcoming community forum that we're going to have at Richman Elementary. And you see, we are working in this prevention. But we're not just, we're not just working with school district, with the police department, which now they know our community leaders. And we know them. We interview too our police officers because this is not a situation that is just one side.
Right.
It's not just community. We want to know, you see, how our officers feel. They have the budget cuts.
Right.
We don't have enough staff. And they have to have long hours working. And that is not, it can affect their mental health. You see their families, and this is not something that we have to put any employee in that situation. And more when they're carrying a gun.
Right.
And that is something that we have to take care of our officers for them to do a good job. And then we have that relationship. They're being so helpful. Our core team leaders, they present to the police department, to the chief, to the captains, and then they asked, the officers asked to the leaders to do another presentation, our core team leaders, and they went and they talked with all the watch commanders.
Right.
And because this is, how we have to have a truly community policing. One is both sides working together. We have a great relationship with our fire department, and we present to the collaborative.
Right.
Because the collaborative, you see, we have, in my personal opinion, as an adult, we have the responsibility to leave our legacy of better world for our children. And that's what we have to do with all of us. It's not just one organization or who's going to have the credit. The credit has to be to the whole community working to achieve it.
Right.
And our leaders do an amazing job. These are moms that have 7 kids, 5 kids. I don't know how they do it. You see, I have one. I barely manage my life. But they do such an amazing job. They bring their families. They work with the children in the neighborhood. And during this pandemic, our community leaders not just, you see, now doing a survey, because outreach is not one day. It's like having an amazing marriage. It's
Yeah.
a relationship. And during this pandemic, our leaders, we we did food drives, and we help 11,000 families,
Wow.
distributing food, taking care of the people that were infected for 14 days. We feed them for 14 days, and they can be at home, and they can, and that was, we can control a little bit, the spread of the COVID in our
Right.
community. We help our community all the time, and this is, when we go to the neighborhoods, is one person calling to the other neighbor, and then you have the whole block out helping to achieve this survey.
Right.
And that is, you see, it's so good to see that everything that you do, people recognize it, and they respond to you in that way.
In that manner, yeah, definitely. And what these are just tremendous efforts that your team, the community, the police officers are making, trying to collaborate and fix some of these issues together. So I'm very impressed by all of this. So looking at the survey, you explained what the results were. How can people access the survey if they want to look at the findings themselves? Is this available?
Yes, we are working right now. Like I told you, we have a great support, Chief Dan, that's helping us a lot with the police department. And we are doing now our community, we're going to have our community forum, which is going to be May 4th.
Right.
That's going to be in person. And then we're going to share, after that date, we're sharing now our one pager, you see, for inform the community. And the data is going to be given by our center. Because this data belongs to the community.
Okay.
And we want the community to see it. But first, we want to have our community forum.
Okay.
Because that is, you see, May 4th is when we want all our decision makers to come and commit to the community. You see that, what is the next step that we're going to have? Community, our courting leaders are asking for have cameras at the park, at Richman Park, and the monitor to be at the police department. And then to be that like a policy for all the parks to have, increase of having surveillance at the park. That is one step that we want to achieve in the short term. And the most important thing too, we want to create cohesion in our community. We see so much the bystander effect. We have domestic violence in a park.
Right.
A park where it's full of people, and nobody called the police department.
Oh my God.
And everybody assumed that somebody else is going to call the police department.
Right.
And later that woman that was, attacked, she came to me and said, Mrs. Nuncci, I cannot believe the park was so full of people and nobody called the police.
Yeah.
My partner almost killed me. He dragged me to my apartment and nobody intervened. What we have to do is create cohesion when we take care of each other.
Right.
We have a lot of seniors in our community. We have to check in our neighbors. And we have to help each other. We have to take care of each other. When we achieve that, we can, we can improve and be in peace, all of us, because we're taking care of each other. That is something they're doing a lot of our neighborhoods now. They are creating, chats, WhatsApp, they are sharing for first time their phone number with their neighbors because they're known, by hi and bye.
Yeah.
But they don't even know their full name or phone numbers. But now it's changing that in our community. We're getting closer and more united.
Right, and that's creating this level of, hopefully, dependability on each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you already talked about the result of the survey, but what do you hope are some of the solutions of the survey, of your community forum? Like, what possible solutions can be implemented to fix some of these issues we're seeing?
Well, we're working right now in that, and that is the process, The asking is going to be have more surveillance. And the asking, too, is, to people create a conscience.
Right.
That people, is coming elections, that we have our, our decision makers, our councilmen, any person that is in a position of power, to have, public safety as a priority.
Yeah.
that is that we need, and because that is gonna, improve with finance, how we're gonna improve other services. They see they are alternative, or we can be a pilot for, how we're gonna have a solution, creating, like I told you, case managers to help with, with the homeless situation. Being a homeless is not a crime, but some behaviors, scare the community. How we gonna fix that?
Right.
Another thing that we want to achieve is inform our community, because these are laws. Like, people are so resentful with the police department because they want to put all the homeless in jail. That is not going to fix this
Right.
crisis, because we have to inform our community how it can be a process where we can help our residents, because our homeless community is part of our community, and we have to take care of them, and we have to do it in a humane way. What is not just a solution for 2 weeks is a life changing
Right.
solution.
Long-term solution. Definitely.
Absolutely. And that is something that we want to work with. We're working very closely, is to tell our community, please go and vote. A lot of people don't participate.
Right.
Our this core team participated in the census, and we were, they won awards. All of us will receive awards by, the nation. It was the first time that our district received so much input, from the census. We changed.
Yeah.
And because we explain our community, when you participate in the census, you're bringing resources to our community.
Right.
And that is the reason that now we have redistricting.
Right.
And we have to educate our community about how is the process, how is the decision making in our city. And people know that it's a rotation system in our city. That is not, that is a system that we have to, to know. I always tell our community, if you want to change a system, you have to learn the system first. And then we can make those changes.
Right.
And people, and that is that empowerment. And we tell all our 38 leaders, this knowledge, this empowerment that you're having is for you to take for the rest of your life. And it's so amazing to see these moms that before never spoke in public in their whole life. Now they go to city council. Now they present at the collaborative. They're going to do other presentations for 60 people.
Right.
And that changed their life. And I told them, we have to have ownership in our neighbor and pride.
Right.
We have to take care of our neighborhood, because this is our home, and this is what our children see every day. If you see something, say something. And if you can fix something, work on it. We adopt a park. We clean the parks on Saturday. Not just, Richman Park. We went to Woodcrest. And we advocate for they remodel now the Pacific Drive Park. This is parents. Community working for years to achieve these changes. We're supporting, the Hans Library. Before, was an encampment for homelessness. Now it's going to be a cultural center.
Right.
And there are so many things that we can do. And you don't need a title to do this. You just need to have the title that be a parent, that be a brother or sister. And you are, part of this community, a resident. And be proud to be a Fullertonian.
Right. And it's not only empowering and life-changing for the individuals, but that brings the whole community and changes the community.
And
together.
our kids too, because our center, all our parents bring their children. We're empowering the new generation.
Right.
This is, changes that we're doing in the schools, in the junior highs, prevention, against drugs. We go, and now we're working too, at the same team, we're working our junior high. We have before a problem, behavior. And now parents patrol the school. The school is being remodeled. Every day our children, they're being saying, hey, they're welcome in the school. And they're proud to now go to their high school. They feel safe and they feel validated. Because, sometimes like adult, we assume the kids don't know nothing.
Yeah.
But that is absolutely wrong. We have to be respectful, and they have a voice. And that is the voice of the future, and you have to learn too. You always have to get what you give, and you give respect, you give love, you're always gonna get it back.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great point to kind of bring our interview to a close. But before I really do that, did you want to talk a little bit more about the May 4th forum that you're holding?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, our Center for Healthy Neighborhood, We are a small, team, but we're mighty. And thank you to all, our donors. They always support us in our center, because without them we cannot do nothing. And this is one of the initiative which is coming from the St. Joseph Fund, that is helping us to empower our community. And this is gonna be, our big forum, which is gonna be May 4th from 5 to 7 at Richman Elementary. And I hope to see you there. Thank you to the Fullerton Observer. Thank you, Rush.
Thank you.
To Jesse, Latour, Adrian, and all the team you see, they are here. And thank you for supporting our community, because we need that voice. And this is going to give us that leverage, and expand, because this is not what happened in our neighborhoods. It can happen in other parts.
Right.
And what we want with our teams is not our 38 leaders to fix all the problems. We want them to be our role models for other members of our community to do the same in the neighborhoods. And all together, we can achieve what we want.
Right. So May 4th, this forum, the community members can attend from Richmond. Other community members can attend to learn.
Oh, absolutely. This is welcome for all our city. We want you in our school. You see, you're welcome to come and learn and see how we work. You see, this member of the community, like I told you, a lot of parents, a lot of, Spanish speakers, that we are making a change, and we're making sure that our voice is heard, and that we have, this opportunity to unite. We invite into our Korean community, decision makers, because at the end, we are all neighbors. And that is the main thing that we want to achieve, is creating that cohesion, that love, and that collaboration between all of us. And we're seeing a lot of changes already.
Right.
But we're not going to stop. We are going to keep pushing until we achieve the perfect solution for all of us.
Right.
And it's to have a better, safe, city. And we want to achieve in the future is we're going to advocate for housing, because that is another big issue. But we're going one at a time. We're going to fix our neighbor and then bring housing to the changes too.
Right. It's a step-by-step process, and I'm sure your team will do great. So thank you so much for your remarkable efforts within Richmond, and thank you for attending today's interview.
Thank you, Rush. And I would like to say, please, that this is a work that I owe so much to our core team leaders. They are so amazing women, and then we have some, men in our team too. They come and do and help so much. And there are so many. But I don't want to miss any of them, and I want to say I love all of them equally. And thank you, for the support of our center, our director, Jesse Jones, Amy Santos, Lilia Espinosa, Dr. Diaz, all these professors, they came to our center and help us to create a data. Because, as a residents, we didn't even know how to start. And it's because of the support of Cal State Fullerton through the center that we achieved this opportunity, and now I'm in front of you. Yeah. And it's gonna be, many houses and people hearing and seeing this podcast.
Definitely. So thank you to all the people that you just mentioned as well. They're doing such remarkable work within the community. So thank you so much for attending today, Egleth.
Okay, thank you, Rush. A pleasure, and thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
So much.